do some arts and crafts, which you may have picked up from some of my other videos that it is one of my favorite ways to do therapy at Rhodes. I always find it really insightful, and of course I have a lot of fun. So this week's arts and crafts project was actually given to us by one of the guest teachers that we have coming in to work with us once a week. She is a somatic therapist. So I did mention somatic therapy in my last video, but I didn't actually call it somatic therapy. The idea of somatics is that body-oriented therapy where we're doing a bottom-up method of dealing with issues or problems that someone is coming up against in their life. So this week's arts and crafts project was a somatic experience. And so we were focusing on our bodies and working this way. We were each given 2 big pieces of chart paper. And on the first one, we were instructed to draw a picture of what our felt experience was in that moment. So some people drew pictures of themselves, like a little caricature. Other people drew murals that were just colors and different shapes and patterns. And I drew this. So it's pretty big. So right at the top is my brain, and it's really dense and it has its own pulse and it feels kind of heavy, and sometimes my brain just feels so swollen. Underneath here is a little plug almost that I felt in my throat, just kind of like someone took a bathtub plug and it was just sitting right there. That's been in some of my other artwork too, where I felt this clog in my throat, so I should probably look into that. This is my tummy. It's filled with just like energy and movement. I think it's excitement. But it could also be anxiety. They feel the same. So that's what mine looked like, but like I said, everybody's looked completely different. The guest lecturer then guided us through a meditation. Once we had settled into this deep, relaxed state where we were really connected with our body, she asked us what symbol we were. And she told us not to think about it, just to feel into it and just allow it to come naturally, what symbol we were based on what was coming up from our body. I don't know if I did this part right, because whenever I try to not think, I often just end up thinking about not thinking. Meditation is not my forte. Regardless, we were asked to draw that symbol on our second piece of chart paper. This is what mine looked like. So it's, well, we're not supposed to say what it is. We're not supposed to interpret it too much. It is what it is. And this was the symbol that came from my mind or my body and then out through my fingers in my artwork. So we were asked really not to analyze it too much, but we were given a different series of questions where we were put with a partner and we had to talk about what it felt like to be this symbol. I decided that as my symbol, I felt wild and powerful, a little bit chaotic, but organic. There was also a little bit evil almost. My symbol has these vines. I interpreted them as vines, but they could be good and growing like I'm a nymph in the forest tending to wildlife, but they could also be a little bit witchy. They had this kind of magical element to it with an undertone of sort of malice. So a little bit abstract this week, but I liked it. It was super cool, just exploring ourselves in a different way. We are going to be using these pieces of artwork next week, where we're going to be put in partners and we're going to be counseling one another using these pieces of artwork as a gateway into what is going on for that person. So stay tuned. I'm going to be bringing you more somatic information as I learn it. That's all I have for you this week for a little lesson on somatics and a touch of insight about my magical witchly nature. If you do want more information on somatic therapy, you can send me a message on Facebook, or I am going to be talking about it for the next 4 weeks' time while I'm still in physical wellness. You can also subscribe so you get all of the information and you don't miss any of the videos. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.